Now, before I start to explore this chapter and unravel it, I want to briefly touch on the anime adaptation that Jujutsu Kaisen is currently getting. So far, the response and reception towards it has been absolutely phenomenal. Every single week, we are getting some enthralling, captivating, and wholeheartedly beautiful episodes to showcase Jujutsu Kaisen in a whole different realm and perspective. From its color palette, to its aesthetic, to its animation, to its voice acting, to its sound design, every facet of this anime is seemingly filled with so much love and attention to detail that is effortlessly bringing Jujutsu Kaisen's manga to life. If for some reason you haven't watched the anime as of yet, I would highly recommend you do. Give it a chance, even if you're not a fan of Kaisen's manga or you're holding yourself back for the whole anime to release, give yourself a bit of a break and indulge the anime. It is so far an incredible experience. Seeing everyone hyped and going crazy on Twitter every single week is such a great thing to be slightly a part of. More than excited to see how the success of that anime reflects the manga sales. Ever since Demon Slayer or Kaiba had its anime introduced and changed the landscape of what a popular manga could really do, especially so young with only 200 odd chapters and reaching its conclusion, the sales for Demon Slayer were impeccable. They were beyond belief and it went above and beyond and still is going above and beyond just to showcase how powerful and incredible a deeply detailed, favorable anime can help a manga thrive and push it past boundaries you wouldn't necessarily expect. I don't expect Kaisen to get the Demon Slayer treatment in the sense of its sales or success. I hope it would. I think that would be amazing, but that in itself is somewhat of an anomaly. But I do hope the response from the anime translates to the manga's success and its sales and continues to show Weekly Shonen Jump just how favorable this series is. How many people are deeply enjoying it and want to see so much more of it. So please do go watch the anime if you do have the chance to. It is worthwhile. Also, if you end up enjoying this video, consider subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, over the past couple of months, or at least this whole arc in general, has been such an incredible experience. Not only does this arc feel so grounded and relatable to not only the characters and even the emotions that they're going through, but it's backed by so much importance and value and incredible fights, reveals, information, basically every single point of a massive arc that you would want. Kaisen is 100% ticking off with ease. At this point, it's basically gathering all of the achievements that this arc is producing and storing them away, showing us as readers what this story is capable of and what the future of Kaisen is going to uphold. There's a lot of great things within this arc, and the recent chapters have been improving upon that and evolving it to gain so much more of an emotional response and really getting down to the point of valuing the life of so many different characters. Not only that, but you also start to value the curses a whole lot more, and the biggest and most prominent one currently is none other than Mahito himself. This iteration of a fight has evolved into its third and maybe even potentially final form, starting off with Yuji himself, to then obviously introducing Nobara, then evolving to where we are currently with Yuji and Todo taking the helm. What's important within this chapter is more so the contrast of differing emotions. Not only is it backed by beautiful artwork, which is a given every single week with Kaisen, for me I absolutely adored the flip-floppy mindset that Yuji is currently going through. Having a point like this within such a vital moment, where Yuji's mindset and his emotions towards a lot of these different things cannot comprehend or even keep up with what is currently going on in front of him, makes for a very authentic experience. It feels raw, it feels passionate, and it feels desperate. Mix all of that with despair and understanding death and acknowledging it and witnessing it, even being the cause of it. You have a mind that is overfilled and overburdened with so many different things that comprehending a fight that is in front of you is so difficult to do. Seeing that laid out beautifully within this chapter, using Todo as some sort of actuator or a point of interest to allow a better understanding or to allow for a different perspective is insanely impressive. I wasn't necessarily necessarily sure on how Todo would be utilized in terms of introducing him other than fighting, but when you go back to the original confrontation that Todo and Yuji had when they first met, it was somewhat similar. Todo provides a lot of clarity for Yuji, and within this moment, it is probably the most important thing that he could have done for him. Mind you, Yuji is trying his hardest to digest and comprehend his own things that he has witnessed. The results of Sukuna coming out to play, the results of Nanami with the Mahito situation, Nobara that just recently happened. Every sort of aspect of weakness that Yuji has becomes a lingering burden, and this chapter reiterates that tenfold by showing how distorted his mindset currently is. Once again, it's authentic and extremely raw, but I'm glad to see Todo helping him go through the motions and providing him some sort of a different perspective to allow for a better understanding. One that with time evolves Yuji further and further to deal with situations like this once again. All of this is accompanied by a couple of different things. Not only is Todo somewhat going hands-on with Mahito at the moment, and we continue to see a very interesting and ever-evolving Mahito, which at this point for me is such an enthralling villain. He is the embodiment of captivating. Not only is he this perfect balance of being extremely intelligent, extremely scary, psychotic, and not overpowered, he also has this relatability factor. It's rather small, but the more that we play on Mahito, the more that we play on Yuji and how they somewhat parallel one another, the more Mahito starts to become human. And I say that metaphorically. Obviously he is a curse, but the mindset and even the emotions that Mahito upholds is very human-like. Having a villain or antagonist that is relatable or at least understandable and plays a polar opposite or parallel to the main cast of characters or the main character, Yuji in this case, goes a very long way in providing this growth, development, understanding over time. And we've seen such a beautiful evolution for Mahito from the beginning of the story to where he is now. He is constantly growing and at a very scary and rapid pace. In my mind, he is going to be the final villain or antagonist or fight or hurdle within Kaizen's story, whenever that may be within the future. But if he continues to grow at this scary rate, he will become an opponent that is out of this world. One that is far too intelligent for his good, far too scary for anyone to witness, but also far too human, continuing to blur that line between curse and human where it is almost unnoticeable. It's great to see this Mahito stuff fit in or connect with the Yuji mindset and the hurdles that he is currently facing. Because by the end of the chapter, Yuji goes through accepting and bearing the pain of everything that is going on to bring himself up back to a standard level. So by the end of it, we have Todo and Yuji joining forces to once again take on Mahito. And this is going to be quite an incredible battle to witness. Could be quick, it could be long, could get interrupted, but seeing Mahito thriving alongside of it, he's not going to go down easily, and most definitely has more stuff up his sleeve that we are about to witness. We still have a domain or territory that has yet to be opened from him, so seeing that come out to play, which is definitely going to be more evolved and changed from the previous time he used it, is going to obviously throw a massive curveball within the mix. Not to mention the compatibility between Todo and Yuji is beautiful. They work together inherently well. It's also nice to note that the other person that Todo brought alongside of him was a healer of sorts. So as much as Nobara is extremely injured, even dead or not breathing, she doesn't even have a pulse, the possibilities of her surviving this encounter with Mahito is not zero. There is some sort of percentage there that she could survive, but the injuries bring up another question. What actually comes from all of this if she does survive? Will her memories be tainted? Will her abilities be stunted? Will she be mentally or emotionally scared to do anything? There's a lot of different opportunities to take from it. I don't personally think she's going to be killed off just because of the introduction of that healer and the fact that they mentioned taking her away and the possibility of saving her is now open to be used. Personally, I feel the injury is playing on something relating to her soul or her memories or something intertwined between the two would be very fitting for not only Nobara as a character and her to uprise over it and grow from it, wanting to train and become stronger and knowing that she can eventually go toe to toe with Mahito later on down the line. She has an ability that is somewhat of a hard counter towards him, very similar to Yuji. So that could easily become a driving force for her. How it could potentially warp her memories, however, is something of a big question. I don't think she would lose all of her memories, but she may lose some important things that mean a lot to her, like the flashback that we just recently got, or potentially other stuff that she keeps extremely close to herself. Valuable things or memories that no one ever wants to lose. Once again, redirecting it back into fueling her further and allowing her to expand her wings. I am deeply excited to see where we go from here. The Todo Yuji versus Mahito fight is easily going to be breathtaking, and I'm very curious on how all of this comes to a conclusion. This arc in total has been absolutely phenomenal, and it seems like we're starting to somewhat slow down and lead into the conclusion of things. Obviously, we still have to get some sort of confirmation or understanding of Gojo's situation within that box if he even gets out, let alone the situation with Geto and the possibility of even Yuta showing back up once again. I don't know if the author wants to play all of their cards at this current moment, but I would love to see Yuta come back into the story and go up against Geto once again. You can add on top of that potentially freeing Gojo or not being able to save him in time. Undoubtedly, there is still a lot of things to showcase, but currently the focus on Todo and Yuji versus Mahito, I am more than excited for it, and I can't wait to see how it all unravels. So with that being said, let me know how you felt about the chapter. How'd you feel about Yuji's mindset and his outburst of emotions and him understanding his own pain and suffering? How do you feel about Todo being introduced into this fight and the combination of those two going up against Mahito? How do you think it's going to come to a conclusion? I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Drink plenty of water, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.